नमस्कार, जय हिंद, जय भारत एंड वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स। दिस इज आदि अचिंत। हमारे साथ हैं हरिंदर मुखर्जी साहब। पहले तो सर प्रणाम, नमस्कार, वेलकम टू द शो।
प्रणाम प्रणाम प्रणाम।
क्या यार, आपने टप्पू द ट्रम्प को सारा डिसेंट्री दे रखी है कि लूज मोशंस है कि पता नहीं क्या, समझ नहीं आ रहा। कभी इधर भागता है, कभी उधर भागता है, क्या कर रहे हो यार हरिंदर साहब? एट एट वन टाइम यू एंड आई वर सेइंग देखो अमेरिका किस जगह पे आग लगाता है, इधर पे लगा रहा है, उधर पे लगा रहा है। ऑल दैट इज स्टिल हैपनिंग, बट टुडे द फायर इज आल्सो इनसाइड अमेरिका। क्या कहते हो? व्हाट्स
Yeah.
हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड?
All right. Namaskar, namaskar, namaskar to you and namaskar to your viewers. And yeah, long time. I think this is the first time we are meeting in this new year. So happy new year to you and to your viewers
Thank you, sir.
also
Wish you the
family.
same.
Uh, 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 यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स का रिसेंट जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, माई कैरेक्टरिस्टिक मैक्रो एंगल, इसमें अगर बोलने के लिए बोलना शुरू करेंगे तो देयर आर थ्री थिंग्स दैट आई वुड वांट टू पुट अक्रॉस। एंड मैंने क्या किया, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑल डेवलपमेंटल स्टेज एंड अ लॉट ऑफ सच एनालिसिस इज टेकिंग प्लेस based on things that have happened and think that could happen इसका anticipation में। So ऐसा कुछ fix नहीं है, कुछ formalized नहीं है, just a couple of points which I have written down, so I would want to pick them up one by one. Let us very first talk about the fact that this war, Ukraine war, रशिया एंड यूक्रेन वॉर 2022 से लेकर 2026 तक, इसमें से एक चीज निकल के आया है, एंड दिस आई एम टॉकिंग एब्सोल्युटली फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स एस्टैब्लिशमेंट का जो परसेप्शन है उसके ऊपर से। There, the understanding in United States is Russia is not what Soviet Union used to be. रशिया ने 4 साल में यूक्रेन को 1/3 भी ठीक ठाक से कैप्चर नहीं कर पाया। सो रशिया इज क्लियरली इनकेपेबल ऑफ इन्वेडिंग यूरोप। सामने जो कुछ भी साउंड बाइट्स आ रहे हैं, मीडिया बाइट्स आ रहे हैं, वो सब अब भूल जाओ। दिस इज हार्ड कैलकुलेशन विच दिस गाइज हैव अराइव्ड एट, that Russia is not powerful enough, Russia is not capable enough to invade the rest of Europe. So Europe is not in any immediate danger of a Russian assault. Right? Now, if Europe is not in any danger, what does that transfer to? That translate to? That translates to the fact that Russia is weak and Europe is relatively stable. Russia is militarily weak and Europe is relatively stable. So there is no urgent need to ramp up NATO. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. So if Russia is weak and if Europe is safe and there is no need to ramp up NATO, there is a fourth point which comes in, but Russia is aggressive enough, so we know we cannot expand NATO. So we cannot expand NATO. We cannot ramp up NATO. We cannot expand NATO. We need not ramp up NATO. Europe is safe. Russia is weak. So why do we need NATO? Now, so this becomes a useless cost for the United States. This is where Greenland comes into the picture. अगर मुझे नेटो में इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना है, आई डोंट नीड टू रिमेन इन्वेस्टेड इन नेटो, देन व्हाट इज माय फियर? यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स कैन नॉट बी इन्वेडेड। यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स का जो मैप है, अगेन गोइंग बैक टू ओल्ड जियोपॉलिटिक्स, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स कैन नॉट बी इन्वेडेड। आई मीन कनाडा कैन नॉट इन्वेड नो मैटर व्हाट यू डू, मेक्सिको कैन नॉट इन्वेड। दो तरफ ओशंस है। सो the one point where United States probably needs to keep a watch if they move out of NATO is the fact that there is this GIUK gap, GIUK, Greenland, Iceland and United Kingdom का gap, जहां पे ये वेनेजुएलन मूव के टाइम में they noticed a couple of Russian submarines that were making rounds there. GIUK gap then becomes one area कि मतलब यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स अगर नेटो से निकल गया तो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स को यूरोप में कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा। यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स को जो हो सकता है वो सिर्फ जीआईयू के गैप में हो सकता है। दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन व्हाई देन ग्रीनलैंड और possessing Greenland becomes very important geopolitically. और मैं अभी वो रेयर अर्थ एलिमेंट में जा ही नहीं रहा हूं। That's a part of a different discussion. This is strictly what Trumpian era politics is now looking like. So I don't need to stay invested in NATO. I need to remain invested in the GI-UK gap, for which there is a certain amount of control which I need over Greenland. अगर मैं ग्रीनलैंड पे कंट्रोल करूं तो बाय डिफॉल्ट क्या हो रहा है, वेस्टर्न हेमिस्फीयर एंड द बोथ द अमेरिकास बिकम सेग्रीगेटेड टू पार्शियल एक्सटेंट. ऑफ कोर्स चाइनीज बिजनेस इंटरेस्ट एंड एटसेट्रा देयर इन सदर्न अमेरिका, उसको फिर अभी साइड में रखते हैं. Geographically, then the Americas become isolated. So once again, it is Monroe Doctrine translated into Donroe Doctrine, and it is a segregation of Western Hemisphere and Eastern Hemisphere under the political philosophy of great, वो क्या बोलते हैं, the tragedy of great power politics. Now, if you examine which United States is doing, if you examine from the tragedy of great power politics क्या बोलते हैं? Great power politics essentially ये कहते हैं कि you know the world is like a classroom with no teacher in there. So it's an anarchic state of existence for the world. अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हैं, क्लास में कोई टीचर नहीं है, there is no higher authority to sort of rule or govern or look after you. इसमें the class becomes chaotic. इसमें क्लास अगर जरूरत से ज्यादा chaotic हो जाता है तो क्लास में usually there is one bully that rises up and tries to control the class, the rest of the class. This one bully then becomes अपने हिसाब के मतलब सुविधा के लिए, let's consider United States to be this one bully who has risen up and is trying to control the class. And then there is a chance that there could be another bully that rises up and tries to control the other half of the class, which used to be Soviet Union at one point of time. Now, so what is happening is then there rises two big powers, and then there is a tussle between these two big powers as to who controls what extent. इसमें आ जाता है दो चीज, एक जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म, एक जिसको बोलते हैं हम ऑफेंसिव रियलिज्म. डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म क्या कहते हैं कि आप अपने डोमेस्टिक सिक्योरिटी और अपने इमीडिएट एरिया पे, मतलब इमीडिएट बॉर्डर पे फोकस करो और भाड़ में जाए दुनिया, आप अपने में फोकस करो एंड आप खुश रहोगे. The practical problem to defensive realism is, और ये मैं जो कह रहा हूं, this is all that is now is like अमेरिका का जो ये जो पीछे वेस्टर्न हेमिस्फीयर की तरफ अमेरिका पीछे जा रहा है, वापस जा रहा है to recoup and recuperate and probably announce a kind of a break or probably create its fourth innings. इसके रीजन ये है because whenever we come here, whenever I come here, Adi bhai, whenever we discuss about geopolitics, we always talk about the macro things, you know, heartland, rimland, and movements and things like that. This is probably the first time in our living history that focus is going to shift away from heartland and rimland, probably active focus. तो ये जो डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म है, डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म इज गुड, बट डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म का प्रॉब्लम ये हो जाता है कि वो क्लास में एक मॉनिटर खड़ा हो जाएगा, एक बुली खड़ा हो जाएगा जो ऑफेंसिव रहेंगे, जो आपको डिफेंसिव रियलिज्म में खुश नहीं रहने देंगे, बिकॉज वो आपके ऊपर डोमिनेट करने का कोशिश करेंगे. ओके, नाउ देन so then the question that comes into the mind is, फिर क्या offensive realism सच है, मतलब offensive realism ज्यादा अच्छा है? offensive realism का फिर प्रॉब्लम है वो ये है कि आप ज्यादा expand करते करते you become too stretched, which we have seen with Napoleon, which we have seen with Hitler, and which we are seeing with United States of America.
Yeah.
Now, America was an offensive realist and it played offensive realism बहुत अच्छी तरह से till the time the world was not technologically and militarily etc as developed as United States was. अभी क्या हो गया, अभी टेक्नोलॉजी has been a great leveler, internet has been a great leveler, nuclear power बहुत लोग के पास है, even चिंदी चोर्स like पाकिस्तान also have nuclear power, वो यूज कर पाए नहीं कर पाए दूसरी बात है, लेकिन है. So offensive realism now becomes a little bit of a risky game because you are stretching yourself but very thin, so you cannot probably, from the point of view of United States, you cannot be a global policeman and you cannot have 270,000 bases all around the world and used to do whatever that you used to do. Okay, excuse my exaggeration. तो अभी करना क्या है? Now it dawns on them, probably to Donald Trump's team, कि defensive realism is not the solution. Offensive realism is not the solution. Do we need to think beyond it? If we need to think beyond it, maybe we need to retreat back a little bit, take a couple of steps back, consolidate our Western Hemisphere, and then think what we can do. So, right now, the focus is to avoid a global outreach. Right now, the focus is to limit physical presence. Right now, the focus is to consolidate. अब consolidation का जहां तक बात आता है, the next point that comes in is now is probably the time to build new institution, which is where Board of Peace is coming in. Now people are making fun of it, but 50-50 chance hai, there is a chance that such institutions going ahead in future might reduce the importance. वैसे तो United Nations का importance गया, खत्म हो गया, लेकिन अभी मतलब अभी global institution का कुछ relevance ही नहीं रहा है, because in this upcoming multipolar era, but United States is going to do a couple of things. One is try and build new institutions. जितना भी अभी देखने में जितना भी वो कार्टूनिश लगे, जितना भी कुछ लगे, but that is one thing that they're going to try and do. They are going to they have already managed to extract themselves a lot from World Health Organizations and stuff like that. So focus would be consolidate at the home front, consolidate your own hemisphere, weed out the Chinese influence that is there to the best of your ability, physically secure your gaps and so on and so forth, GI-UK gap and all, geopolitically. Second is you try and build new institution, you try and usher in another bounded order if you can, if it is possible. Number 3 is offset the losses that you are going to face or you are facing because of this, even if it is fractional, the de-dollarization that is going on. Okay, dollar trade कम होते जा रहा है, नॉन डॉलर ट्रेड ज्यादा होते जा रहा है. वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट किसके पास कितना डॉलर को कौन अपना इसमें रखते हैं, स्टोर करके रखते हैं, सो उस पे क्या इफेक्ट होगा, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. बट द फैक्ट इज दैट दिस डी-डॉलराइजेशन का जो फीवर अभी चल रहा है, उसमें डॉलर ट्रेड हैज टेकन अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ अ हिट. इट यूज्ड टू बी अबाउट, आई डोंट नो, अबाउट 70%, नाउ इट इज डाउन टू 58% और समथिंग लाइक दैट. एग्जैक्ट डेटा तुम्हारे पास होंगे. How to offset the de-dollarization cost, this thing loss? Therein comes in something like the AI stack strategy and the sovereign AI packages with United States is planning. So this, to me, Adi bhai, this looks like United States is retreating. It's taking us a couple of steps back overall, consolidating its physical presence and its physical dominance over the Western atmosphere, Western hemisphere, letting the Eastern hemisphere, which is Eurasia and Africa, be for some time, and it is trying to establish its primacy. It would try to establish its primacy through rebuilding of institution and offsetting de-dollarization loss through the new AI stack strategy, which they are going to try and put in place. So over to you.
Concept fantastic, but in reality they're still engaged.
Yes, they are.
Right? You look at Europe, they're still stuck there. Now he's created another engagement with Iran. Iran ke samne, I mean, the kind of weaponry and the armament ye leke aaya hai wahan par, it's not come since the Second World War, yaar.
Yeah.
You know, even during the Iraq War, itna saman ye lek nahi leke aaye wahan par. They could beat off Iraq with whatever was there in the region. They could bomb Afghanistan, जो भी इनके पास था, but जिस तरह का सामान ये यहाँ पर लेके आए, that shows you he is not wanting to disengage. Or, which I talk about in a little broader sense, is the policy of containment of China. So they're not fully disengaging, but they are engaging only where they want to, because which is necessary to put the peer competitor down.
Absolutely necessary जहां पे, और ईरान के केस में एक रोल प्ले कर रहा है, because stabilization of this, मतलब destruction of the Iranian regime is equal to stabilization of Middle East in American lingo, stabilization of Middle East for the benefit of Israel, and sooner or later तो देख, हाँ,
control the oil,
हाँ, sooner or later तो ये होना ही था बाबा. ये आज नहीं तो 4 महीने बाद ईरान का रजीम के ऊपर अटैक. ये तो हम लोग अपने ये डेफटॉक्स में ही तो पिछले 1-1.5 साल से बोले आ रहे हैं. ईरान रेजिम के ऊपर अटैक होना ही है। वो 2026 के फरवरी में होंगे या 2026 के जून में होंगे या कब होंगे पता नहीं, लेकिन ये रेजिम को रहने नहीं देंगे। आई मीन इट्स अ डन डील। करेंगे करेंगे, कुछ तो करेंगे इसके ऊपर। So yes, United States, taking your point. So if I am securing my Western hemisphere, which is I am stabilizing, I'm trying to consolidate there, then that leaves my Eastern hemisphere. Now, Eastern hemisphere में the upcoming emerging powers are again one power which has already emerged is China. India is an emergent power. Iran is, I won't call Iran an emerging power, but Iran is a serious contender, let's say, in their language, to peace in Middle East. Okay. European Union is now going through a very painful phase where it doesn't know its limit of freedom, where it is suddenly looking at a massive deindustrialized base, a massive amount of immigrant who don't work for shit, who don't know basically anything about high tech manufacturing. Forget about the low end job, because low end job में यूरोप का ऐसे भी requirement कुछ है नहीं लेबर का. Forget it. So Europe is in a problematic situation. Russia is also in a problematic situation in the sense that, see, Russia is not what you could call a global power that Soviet Union used to be at one point in time. It is a nuclear power. It is a ferocious fighting state, and it has got humongous amount of natural resources, which is enough to see its future secure. But is it a global power? No, it is not a global power. So you have, while you are securing the Western Hemisphere, you have several contested boundaries, several contesting aspirations, several contesting powers, power centers, and region in this Eurasian African landmass. So लड़ाते रहो एक दूसरे में. That is only going to give you some time. So फिलहाल के लिए, our discussions that used to hover around Rimland and Heartland, that, there was an ambition where America was a global policeman, intended to take over Rimland as much as possible and then move into Heartland. For the first time in our living history, that focus is shifting. Now the entire thing is, बस तुम लोग अपना mess में रहो, कितना भी जो भी कुछ करना है, mess create करना है करो. I am going to add fuel to the fire while I secure my Western Hemisphere, because I don't have the bandwidth anymore today to sort of, be the global policeman that I aspire to be. Over to you, Bhai.
So, if you look at the game, what is happening, they're still engaged with the Rimland, but they're engaged through proxies.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Game change हो गया है. Previously,
Yes.
when they needed to fight someone, आज इजराइल जो काम कर रहा है आपके लिए, अब अपने आप करते.
अपने आप करते, जो यूरोप में आपने किए थे एक टाइम में.
ठीक है. 1949 में सोवियत यूनियन ने अपना न्यूक्लियर वेपन फोड़ दिया था. ठीक है, बट स्टिल 53, 54, 53 तक तो आप कोरिया में सोवियत यूनियन के साथ डायरेक्टली एंगेज थे. ठीक है.
Yes.
आज वो गेम चेंज हो गया है टू प्रॉक्सीज. आप पाकिस्तान को पकड़ो, शुरू हो जा, इंडिया पे प्रेशर डाल. पाकिस्तान को बोलो भाई बांग्लादेश में जरा अपना एक छोटा भाई बना. फिलीपींस को बोलो भाई जरा शुरू हो जा. जापान को बोलो भाई शुरू हो जा. सो दिस इज अ लिटिल डिफरेंट, दिस इज अ लिटिल चेंज फ्रॉम दैट प्रीवियस गेम. नाउ इसके अंदर व्हेन यू लुक एट अ ग्रेट पावर गेम, जो बैलेंस बनेगा दुनिया के अंदर, व्हाटएवर यू से, अमेरिका का जो एक स्ट्रक्चर है, उसका जो पावर है, इट इज डिमिनिश्ड काफी हद तक. Does that diminish lead to a collapse, or does that diminish leads to a revival? Because at the end of it, if you look at the deep state game, the new world was made because it was isolated and insulated. Would they want to lose a country like America?
Offhand, us Adi bhai, no. Nobody wants to, or nobody is probably realistic enough to understand the exact time or the exact phase, and especially if you're riding on a high, exact time or phase on where they are going down or whether they are going down in the first place. So yes, while United States' power has reduced a lot, and while there is this multipolar world which is already created, multipolar regions of influence, at least, if not multipolar states, regions of influence have already been created. And United States stepping back into the Western Hemisphere is a sort of an acknowledgement of the same fact that yes, we understand and we are powerless to deal with that. This move is probably where United States is going to reorganize and launch once again and try to control as much as possible. So what we are seeing is probably a recess break where United States is going to retrieve to Western Hemisphere and probably be there for a couple of decades before it tries its game back into the world once again, depending on if it can survive, if it can overcome this. Now, if can it overcome this? That's $1 million question. Yes, it has got several weapons. It is still very strong. It has got several weapons. It still controls a large part of the global financial transaction. It is still the number one military power in the world. It is still a country that, देखो, axiomatic है क्या एक country को power बनने के लिए that you should never be, or you try your best to not be invaded, and United States cannot be invaded.
Cannot.
So
that's the thing. Except through again these illegals and this and that.
Illegals, illegal, which is what Donald Trump is cracking on. Good or bad, ice, frozen ice, thin ice, whatever. Okay, so he's cracking on. So now the fact is, a couple of points which still remain in United States' favor. As I said, geographically they are secured. They have got the dollar. They still control a large part of the global finances and the global financial transaction. They have got very advanced system of this thing. यार ये क्या बोलते हैं, artificial intelligence को देखो अगर, technology को देखो, they still lead. They are still leaders by far.
They're far ahead, yaar, even now.
Yeah, by far they're ahead in the game. So yes, there is a fair chance that they could manage to reorganize, rebuild themselves, and again start behaving like the global policeman, maybe a couple of decades down. But yes, what remains to be seen is that this couple of decades that Eurasia, let's say the rest of the world, is getting, would they be able to organize also as well as the United States does? Because that's where, see, United States is now going to operate as a single unit where the country and all the institutions and everything is going to aid. Probably, let's assume the best case scenario, retreating United States, retreating into Western Hemisphere United States acts as a consolidated unit where every auxiliary unit that contributes to building United States as a power works in cohesion. Vis-a-vis a Eurasian landmass where you have a Europe with its own agenda, Russia with its own agenda, China with its own agenda, India with its own agenda. Would, again, Eurasian integration, would they be able to come together? If they are thinking about coming together, in what exact areas are they coming together? How is this coming together of these 4-5 regions contributing to the overall vision of the growth of Eurasia as a region? Loads of questions, Adibhai. That is once again an advantage if I look at it to the United States, that they are working as a cohesive unit. Would we manage to do that? Probably not.
One more thing is there, that this whole pattern of withdrawal which is taking place, if you look at it, जो चीजें चल रही हैं, it is the creation of conflicts.
Okay.
Right? You're looking at the creation of sustained conflicts. You look at Russia, Ukraine, fair enough, they'll sort out Ukraine. But the issue of Arctic is being fixed into that. So the next conflict is already being planned. ठीक है, अगला गेम क्या है, उसके लिए ऑलरेडी प्लानिंग चल रही है. आपने स्वीडन, फिनलैंड को नेटो में ले लिया. यू बिल्ट अप पोलैंड, यू बिल्डिंग अप ईस्टर्न यूरोप, बिकॉज थोड़ा बहुत वहां पर एक हेड चाहिए. वेस्टर्न यूरोप आपको चाहिए नहीं, इट्स टू मच ऑफ एन एक्सपेंस, तो उसको आप साइड कर रहे हो. यहाँ पर कर लिया आपने. यू बिल्डिंग अप जापान, यू बिल्डिंग अप फिलीपींस, यू बिल्डिंग अप साउथ चाइना सी, वहां पर आप थोड़ा बना रहे हो. यूर फिंगरिंग इंडिया की, यार थोड़ा हमारी हेल्प करो उधर पे, तो वो भी चल रहा है. लुक एट ईरान, whatever said, जो भी whatever happens in Iran is going to destabilize the region for some time.
Yeah.
Right? So it will create conflicts here also. तो basically आप एक जगह पे you creating a scenario कि भाई अच्छा ठीक है यार, मैं 2-3 साल पीछे जाऊंगा, 2-3-5 साल 10 साल पीछे जाऊंगा, बट तब तक तुम लोग
Yes.
लड़ो यार अपने आप जरा,
तुम लोग, yes, तब
fight it
तक
out.
तुम लोग कुछ खास कर नहीं पाओ, इसीलिए आई एम क्रिएटिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स एंड आई एम मेकिंग श्योर दैट दिस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट सस्टेन.
Yeah.
Exactly the point. Exactly the
Hmm.
point. Yeah. Now, what is surprising is, अच्छा ना तुम सवाल कुछ
Yeah,
है.
what do you think about that? That's
I, I,
that's
I think this I think this is a very practical observation, and this is precisely what I was saying, that you consolidate your side of the sphere and you let the conflicts keep brewing. You keep these conflicts alive. So you're for the time being now you're forgetting your old focus on what on segregating a Eurasian landmass into a heartland and grimland, and तुमको किस में influence चाहिए, तुमको किस में access चाहिए. You're forgetting all of that. You're
Meet my
just like, boss, मुझे 2 घंटा का रिसेस चाहिए, तुम लोग तब तक लड़ते रहो अपने बीच. And which is what you're creating.
yeah. So that's where the contradiction comes when people say कि भाई जब national security policy अब अमेरिका की पढ़ो, वो बोलते हैं नहीं जी they are withdrawing back and this and that. And I look at it, I'm like यार I am not going to go. मैं ये जो बोलते हैं मैं उस पे तो जब कभी जाऊंगा नहीं. ये कर क्या रहे हैं मैं उस पे देखूंगा, because ये कर तो साला टोटल उल्टा रहे हैं. Now the question here comes is the containment of China. ठीक है, वेनेजुएला ठोक दिया आपने, लोग बोलते हैं 3-4%, आई से इट्स अबाउट 8 to 10% इन्वॉल्विंग द ब्लैक फ्लीट. ठीक है, ईरान पे आप ज्यादा कुछ कर ना पाओ बट फिर भी यू विल बी एबल टू इंटरडिक्ट देयर ऑयल. तो आपने चाइना की ऑयल की पूंछ के ऊपर पैर रख दिया है. हाउ डज चाइना वन रिएक्ट टू इट, इफ इट डज और नॉट, बिकॉज इवेंट्स हैव चाइना आल्सो शोन दैट चाइना इज ब्रीचेबल. व्हाटएवर यू से यार, जो चीज वो पीएलए डेली में, मैं आई एम नॉट गोइंग बाय द कंस्पिरेसी थ्योरीज एंड दिस एंड दैट, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग बाय व्हाट द पीएलए डेली इज रिटन कि भाई साहब दिस गाय वाज अंडरमाइनिंग द कमांड ऑफ शी जिनपिंग.
Yeah.
दिस इज व्हाट द चाइनीज आर्मी हैज सेड. तो फॉरगेट वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट, फॉरगेट न्यूयॉर्क टाइम, भूल जाओ उसको. पीएलए डेली ये कहता है. सो द कंटेनमेंट ऑफ चाइना इज ऑन. पाकिस्तान में उसका गेम खत्म. $100 बिलियन वेनेजुएला में उड़ गए उसके. ही इज नॉट बीन एबल टू डू मच. If Iran blows up, that's another $400 billion deal over 25 years gone to the dust. I don't know how much China has actually put into that. Trump is now getting into the bloody, what do you call, Central Asian region. ठीक है क्या, Trump International Peace Corridor and that crap that's coming inside, वो he's crossed the Caspian Sea. तो BRI के साथ में खड़ा है वो वहां पर. ठीक है, तो he is basically coming this word. You see him kind of coming this word to rump China like that.
To remote this thing, encircle China.
Yeah, but the Russia game is still left. Now, what if he sacrifices something there and tells Putin, "यार, just look away. You don't need to do anything. तू तेल बेच, कोई टेंशन नहीं है. Just look away. That's all." What is the possibility of something like that?
There is a possibility there. There is a possibility that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin arrives to some. There's a high possibility of them arriving into some kind of an agreement as far as the Arctic resource sharing and route sharing is concerned, which is what a part of Greenland deal is all about. There is a high possibility of people like us even forgetting Ukraine 2-3 years down the line. Ukraine would just be a bump. Anyway, it's useless. Nobody remembers Ukraine. Half of the world has probably forgotten Ukraine now. So there is that chance. On the part of Russia, there is a fair possibility of Vladimir Putin acknowledging and accepting what Trump proposes to a large extent. Why? Because if you look at the involvement of China during the time Russia has been in Ukraine, उससे ज़्यादा physical involvement North Korea का रहा है. So China media soundbites में कितना भी बोलते हैं रशिया के साथ है, but the fact is, push comes to shove, you see North Korea more involved than China has actually been during this Russian adventure in Ukraine. So why not that way? Now, coming back to the point of containment of China, देखो एक बात तो सही है कि China is a formidable competitor for United States. हम लोग पिछले 10 साल से every bloody newspaper and every media outlet and most YouTube videos सब कोई चाइना का collapse predict करते थक चुका है. China hasn't collapsed. because our understanding of an economy is very much along the Western lines of economy, which is free or market economy and things like that. China mein there is a mixed hybrid heavy regulation, and China's government has got a massive amount of fiscal firepower that most of us are not aware of. So Evergrande collapse भी संभाल लिया, सब कुछ संभाल लिया. Now that being a characteristic of China, this typical Chinese resilience might have a lot of reasons to put in a lot of apprehension in the United States' mind कि ये बंदा को मारे तो मारे कैसे. At the same time, Adi, we have to understand that United States and China are joined at the hips. There is too much of interdependence. Now, you cannot have two hostile armies when your economy is interdependent on each other and hostile army ek dusre ko maar rahe, because this is going to hurt both the parties. So what United States sote jagte would always want is they would want this Chinese interdependence to remain, but they would just want वो मडूरो को हटा के किसी को लेके आया, उसी हिसाब से अगर शी जिनपिंग को हटा के if they can get a more compliant person. Now for that, are they going to physically invade and all? Probably not. They're going to try and create as much of pressure on China as possible so that CPC sees the light tomorrow and says, भाई शी जिनपिंग को यहाँ से हटा दो, किसी दूसरे को लाओ, ये प्रेशर अपने लिए बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, इसको हम हैंडल नहीं कर पा रहा है. Let's remain the second fiddle to United States and let us continue with our economic interdependence and our manufacturing का exchange जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, and probably we'll get a little bit of this thing, ये क्या बोलते हैं वो nanochips वाला support also.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the long run, there is a kind of there is a fair possibility of a kind of I won't say a friendly agreement, but kind of a unsaid understanding between United States and China. कि भाई अपने लिमिट में रहो और खुश रहो. And it all depends on how long China can handle this pressure of this constant entanglement with United States in every other aspect. Today in Venezuela, tomorrow in Iran, परसों in Philippines, उसके बाद वाला दिन है कहीं और पे.
चाइना में दम नहीं है, इतना दम नहीं है उसके अंदर.
पता नहीं भाई, लेकिन यहाँ पे एक गलती यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ने कर लिया, बिकॉज वी आर चैटिंग अबाउट इट. अगर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स को देखो, यहाँ पे क्या है ना, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स को सचमुच में अगर ये चाइना को कंटेन करना था या कंटेन करना है, अभी भी कर सकते हैं. आई एम गेसिंग अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वुड वॉच दिस वीडियो. द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम दैट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स क्रिएटेड फॉर इटसेल्फ वाज गेटिंग कोजी टू बांग्लादेश, बिकॉज चाइना का rare earth element, I think the second or the third largest supplier of China's rare earth element outside of China is Myanmar.
उसी को तो इंटरडिक्ट करना है.
तुमको अगर चाइना को कंटेन करना था, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ बांग्लादेश, you should have gone and sat down in Myanmar. Instead, what you have done is you have sat down in Bangladesh, and then you're creating a issue which Myanmar is finding a little, where Myanmar is finding you and your interest to be hostile to Myanmar. So you should have done the other way around if you really wanted to contain China's rare earth element ka ambitions. Over to you, bhai.
It's very simple. मेरे को and वहाँ पर भी देखो, अभी if you look at the elections which have happened in Myanmar now, I'm just trying to decipher their policy. I'm not saying the Americans will be successful at it, because they're dumb idiots. There's a reason they're known as dumb freaking Americans, and freaking is said by choice. ये जाके अगर आप देखेंगे, when you look at the situation in Myanmar, अभी वो election हुआ है, the Janta has come back into power, right? And the Janta has been promised, if you switch to us, we will legitimize you. Exactly the way they've legitimized, what's his name? Munir. Get some puppet to sit there, Shahbaz Sharif type, so salute मारेगा तेरे को, बस खत्म कहानी, you bloody sit there, मेरे को जो काम करना है वैसे कराइए. There's a clear policy of blocking off all Chinese works, which is, I don't know if it'll be successful or not. That's a different story altogether, but you see this happening everywhere.
हाँ, ट्राई करने में क्या है, सक्सेस कुछ में मिलेंगे, कुछ में नहीं मिलेंगे. That is the game, ना. वो ट्राई करेंगे, then China will play a counter game. That is what makes it so interesting.
let's come to the last aspect which I want to talk about. Trump's policy has created one thing in the world is that everybody's broken off from the old system. Everybody said, "Yeah, ये साला चलता नहीं है." Something that I must say, and I must credit Jaishankar Saab, he's been saying this for the past 5-6 years. This stuff that you're doing is not going to work. Okay, the world laughed at him. Everybody laughed at him, but today everybody's saying, "Oh bloody hell, this chap was a bloody visionary." यार, इसने तो 5 He wrote a book about it, man, saying कि भाई the India way. If you read that, it very clearly talks about the collapse of the existing order and this and that. सब कुछ तो he was very clear in his game. Now, where do you see India positioned here? I look at it, and please correct me or please expand on this further. I look at it as the billy that is going to eat the roti when the monkeys are fighting. A foreign policy language में समझाओ, मेरे को नहीं पता.
I really hope and pray that India remains that billy that eats the roti instead of patiently waiting for the monkeys to stop their fight and then, bartify that roti into 3 or 4 or 5 equal parts. Because that bit of posturing is also there. But yeah, okay, coming back to the emerging order, assuming that things remain the way they are, Adi bhai, यहाँ पे ऐसा दिख रहा है कि a lot of it is going to be, देखो, okay, let us consider the first resource that you need to control a large chunk of the world or the entire world, industrial power. यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के पास अभी इंडस्ट्रियल पावर एक टाइम में बहुत था, अभी कम हो गया, which is come to China. So China has 1 point. The next resource that you need probably to control a large chunk of the world is hydrocarbon fuel energy, jo United States still controls. Okay, so that is 1 point to United States to a large extent. The next thing is the currency, your financial predominance in the world, which United States had at one point in time. Now we thoda kam ho gaya, so half marks to United States, half marks to China and the rest of the world. वहां पे China को नहीं मिलेगा, you get EU. तो ऐसा हिसाब में अगर देखेंगे, now the next that comes in is this AI race and the race to dominate the world through AI, जहां पे United States is probably a couple of generations ahead in terms of as far as the race is concerned. China would take at least 4 or 5 years, assuming everything remains normal, which it is not going to remain normal. They are going to disrupt this this run of China in every possible way. So United States is probably going to lead the pack as far as this AI race is concerned. So yes, there are a couple of places where United States is going to maintain distinct advantages. Now, if I am thinking about the AI race, and if I am thinking about Huawei suddenly making a breakthrough and creating sovereign AI packages like United States, then you would see the world which is going to get divided into two sides. One is a large number of countries from global south would probably buy the United States AI sovereign packages. A large number of countries from the global south would probably buy Chinese-based AI packages. In that case, there are two outliers that would remain. One is India and one is the European Union. So in future, to answer your question, what we are seeing is the probabilities. I am not saying there is a clear emergence. What we are seeing is the probabilities of an emergence of United States as one power of and one region of influence, China as one region of influence, European Union and India as two regions of influence, which are distinctly like the non-aligned movement of the 50s and the 60s, which are distinctly not ideologically aligned anymore to either China or United States, but they are playing clearly with the idea in mind that we are going to take what is to our advantage and we are going to discard what is not to our advantage. As far as Russia and Saudi Arabia, etc., concerned, they remain as as natural resources and as energy providers and things like that. I don't think they're going to go up to that level where they kind of identify themselves as a power region. Israel could, if Iran is tackled, तो उसको भी probability पे छोड़ते हैं. So चार मुझे दिख रहा है. One is European Union, one is India, one is China, and one is United States. 4 regions of influence which are going to come, जिसमें दो region is going to control chunks of the globe, which is United States and China through their AI packages, and you would have India and European Union. So चार ऐसे निकल के आ जाएंगे, which in itself speaks a lot about the potential of India in the coming 10-15 years. मतलब ये पॉडकास्ट से I only hope and pray that it reaches to the right people so that they can create a strategy as to how to maximize this and how to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Over to you, bhai.
I mean, recent events does show the fact that there is a clear perspective and a clear outlook towards that in terms of European Union के साथ आपने जिस तरह से जो चीजें करी हैं, and you've been able to kind of create a certain sense of advantage as far as Trump's dealing is concerned, which I would kind of second pretty clearly. Last May, we also see the Chinese trying to hit back at the US. अभी तक तो हुआ नहीं है. I'm not able to kind of see where they will do it. I say that mostly they will try and influence US within the events in Minnesota and all that stuff. The Chinese have been giving money to all Soros-linked organizations, pehle bhi. So what do you say there? Will they be able to do this subconventional nonsense with the US?
They are going to hit, they are going to do, but इसमें क्या है ना पता है? They are going to cause delays. In this United States का consolidation innings में, they would at best cause delays. They are not in a position to cause, to let's say cause structural damages to the entity that United States is. कितना भी यूएस को गाली दे हम लोग, कितना भी उसका मजाक उड़ाए, they are not चाइना में क्या है ना पता है? चाइना इज लाइक अपना पुराने जमाने में बंगाली हाउस होल्ड में एक आदमी होते थे जिसको बाजार सरकार बोलते थे, जो वो तुम उसको थैला हाथ में डाल के तुम उसको मार्केट भेज देते हो रोज सुबह कि आज ये लेके आना, ठीक है? एंड ही हैड अ टाइम लाइन टू गेट दैट बाजार फ्रॉम, बिकॉज तुम वो बाजार लेके आएगा तभी घर में खाना वाना पकेगा एंड सब कुछ होगा. दिस यूज्ड टू हैपन इन द बिग हाउस होल्ड्स, द जमींदार्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो अब बाजार सरकार, what a बाजार सरकार can at best do is he'll go to the market, he'll instead of coming back home at 11 o'clock, he'll probably come at 12 o'clock, क्योंकि वो रास्ते में दो चार आदमी के साथ मिलकर बातें करेंगे, गप्पे मारेंगे, तुमसे दो पैसा मारेंगे, तुमको 2 केजी बैंगन के जैसा के जगह 1.5 केजी बैंगन लाएंगे और उसको मतलब. So what that बाजार सरकार essentially is doing is it is creating problems in your logistics, in your supply chain. It is delaying the entire process and it is delaying the outcome. But is it managing to impact the outcome? Probably no. China is, आज के दिन में, if you look at United States, China is probably that bazaar wala sarkar with whose job is, see, where it's China's strength as far as, why am I saying this? Why did I come up with this example is, China's strength today is supply chain and logistics. China can play there. Supply chain logistics में disruption करोगे तो भाई 5 रुपया का चीज 10 रुपया में मिलेगा, लेकिन मिलेगा. जो संडे को मिलना था वो वेडनेसडे को मिलेगा, लेकिन मिलेगा. So that is the best that you can do. When it comes to the real disruption, देखो, you are controlling more or less the global hydrocarbon trade. You are controlling a large chunk of the global finance. You are controlling advanced industrial जो भी है, and advanced industrial the process, the entire process. Okay, legacy chip, China dominates, fine. But the advanced chip, the less than 7 nanometer or less than 5 nanometer वाला chip, United States is way ahead in the game. वहाँ पे तुम कुछ कर नहीं सकते हो. You don't have the concept. Where are you going to hit? How are you going to hit? तुम सप्लाई कम कर दोगे, तुम रॉ मटेरियल का सप्लाई कम कर दोगे, तुम जहाज को थोड़ा डिले कर दोगे. That's the maximum that you can do. So yeah, structurally you can't create much of a damage to the United States.
Thanks, Bhai. This has been a very, very interesting discussion, I must say. It's always a pleasure banging around, social media.
Yeah.
Sorry, not social media, but, social media narratives versus a reality narrative, which is actually taking place in the world today. So it's a changing world, and we need to kind of look at it very, very carefully, because we'll miss out hints and it'll just fly by in front of us and we won't even know ki kya hua. So even the smallest possible hint, that gives you a lot of detail as to what is going to happen aage. Let's see. Let's wait and watch. Always a pleasure to have you, and let's do this again
More
very soon.
often. Thank you for having me.
Since you're
Yeah,
now not that busy as you were before.
yeah, we'll get
I'd
back.
love to have you on the platform, brother. And to the audience, as usual, my request to you is like, subscribe, and of course, share this with your friends and families. And of course, आप लोग if you can support the channel, check out the description for details. Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind.